Hey there, Marine 81 here. This is going to be my first rant video. Uh, I'm sure, I don't need to tell you that most of the stuff that I'm going to talk about in this video, you've probably already heard numerous times. It's something that most of us, at least if you're preppers, are probably something that you follow closely. Um, and I don't get me wrong, the message of this video, if there is one, is not, a gloom and doom or anything like that at all. It's just something that, I felt like I wanted to voice my opinion on, throw my 2 cents out there, if you will. Um, and it's basically just about the overall state of our country, and things that I see that are very wrong with it. um, One, I'll just start it off, is the economy. Everybody knows how hard it is right now. Regardless of whether or not you're somebody who has a high paying job, and you're financially well off, or you have good job security, um, everybody is feeling the pinch, at least to, a small degree. Um, and the unemployment rates out of the out of here. I think I'm in Ohio, and I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10. Last time I checked, 10% um, on average. Um, I may be way off on that. I'm not really sure. I need to look at it again. But anyway, without going into great detail, everybody knows that the economy is kind of in the dumps right now. Uh, I mean, if you look at, you've probably seen the U.S. debt clock. It's a website. It's usdebtclock.org. Go check that out. If you look at those numbers, it's amazing. I mean, when I was looking at that, it was showing that the U.S.'s gross domestic product was right in and around $14 trillion. If you look at the debt, it's $14 trillion. I mean, we're basically, our gross domestic product is equaling what our debt is. So we're like barely breaking even on that. To me, that's totally out of control. There is no reason why our spending should be equal to what the GDP is. Um, and in my opinion, it's because the government is just out of their mind with spending. They're just writing checks, you know, for whatever stupid pork barrel spending, scheme they want to come up with. It's out of control, and they're bankrupting this country. And I'm sure you don't need me to tell you that. You already know that. But if you look on also on that website, something that I saw was the debt per citizen is a little over $176,000, almost $200,000 per citizen. Now, I don't know about you, but it would take me a while to even earn $176,000. And the first thing I think about when I see numbers like that, you know, and I don't know if you've ever seen on the news that, sometimes like at protests or anything like that, when it comes to spending, is like they'll have like a child or something holding up a sign that says, I already owe 30 some $1,000 or something like that. And it's like a 5-year old. Um, that's the first thing that I think about is our children. Like what are we leaving for our kids? I mean, there's a drastic difference between even the economy that I live in, or you and I live in, and I'm not an old guy, I'm only 30, and what my parents lived in, and then their parents. The opportunities available, in the overall state of health of our economy from what my parents lived in is like night and day compared to what it is now. Then, you know, '90s were pretty good. They were a slight better than what they are now. The job market was a hell of a lot easier back then. I mean, I remember even when I was getting my first jobs, uh, it was pretty easy to find a job. When I was just a kid. You know, um, but I mean, that's one thing that really bothers me. Before I won't go into any kind of great detail on that. Um, Another thing that I have a problem with is uh, the wars overseas, Iraq and Afghanistan. And we've got what it boils down to is I have a real big problem with our foreign policy. We're putting our nose into everybody's business, and we don't need to do that. We need to stay the hell out of everybody's business. If it's something that constitutes a direct national threat, yes, of course. Or if somebody attacks us. And I'm not going to get into the whole 9/11 thing. I have my views on that. That's for another video. But, it's probably pretty obvious why I have a problem with us being in Afghanistan and wherever else it is that we're putting our troops. You know, it's not like, in my opinion, it's not like it was back in the old days where, say like World War II. There's not some tyrannical leader trying to take over the world, kind of a scenario. It's all too heavily politicized. Everything's all about politics. There's some sort of hidden agenda always why we're sending our troops overseas somewhere. Always. There's always something going on that's shady. Some sort of ulterior motive. And it's normally because of some dumbass politician that has something to gain by this going on, by the conflict going on. And I don't agree with any of it. Whatever happened to Congress needing to be consulted and having their approval to send our troops overseas? I mean, they call it a policing action or whatever the hell they want to call it in order to skate through the Constitution. And that leads me into my next point is the President of the United States and these politicians in office today are doing whatever the hell they want. They're completely skirting the Constitution. I mean, you've got, I don't remember the term now. It's basically where the the president can say a bill is introduced and it goes through, it comes to the president. He can basically modify it, like put something in the bottom and sign off on it to change the bill to how he sees fit. And it can completely negate a huge part of whatever was in the bill if he doesn't like it. And then it becomes law. Like, that's not constitutional. And someone put in the comments for me, please. If you know what that term is, I can't think of it off the top of my head right now. But Bush did it. Obama's doing it. Even though Obama campaigned and said that he wasn't going to do it, he's doing it now. But basically just they're totally out of control. They, most of these, I would go so far as to say the vast majority of these people, these politicians, including the president, need to be removed from office. I'm not saying go storm the White House with an AK-47 or something, not at all. Not through violent means. I think that if enough of us were to get together and protest and shout and make our voices heard and just basically annoy the hell out of these politicians, eventually we're going to get through. It may take some time. It's going to take some devotion. But, we need to start somewhere. if you look at the Tea Party movement, this, I wasn't alive in the 70s. I was born in 81. But if you look at what's going on today politically and the types of people who are getting involved are people who never would have got involved in this kind of stuff before. It's impressive in my book. You've got your average American who doesn't, get involved politically, doesn't really have a whole lot to say on it. They usually have their viewpoints on a certain, key topics, and that's it. But they're reaching their breaking point. They're saying, enough is enough. I'm tired of dealing with this. You corrupt politicians are done screwing up this country and, bankrupting it. From what was going on even 2 years ago and what's going on today, you're seeing a lot more people getting involved. I think the biggest downfall is I think we need to see more younger people getting involved, more my age group or teens. I think if that age group started to get more involved politically and voting is a big thing. Get them out there and actually have them vote. Write their congressman or senator, call them, email them, whatever. I think we could probably see a little bit more of a shifting in what's going on. And, I think, honestly, that's all it really takes is you got to get involved. I know a lot of people, myself included, that spend a lot of time on the internet. You spend a lot of time on YouTube watching videos. This video is at 12 minutes right now. This is probably the longest video I've ever made. And I apologize for that. But, this 12 minutes, in this 12 minutes that I made this video, that you sat here and watched it, is enough time for you to find out who your senators are, congressmen, and send them an email. It can be a short one. Send them an email and tell them you don't like what's going on and why. It won't take you that long to type something out. Just voicing your concerns. Or if you find a politician that you like or you want to support, do that. Like, I am a huge Ron Paul supporter. I love that guy. I hope to God he gets elected. Because he's the only candidate right now that I think would honestly support the Constitution. But I'm dragging this way out. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents out there for anybody who had the the guts to, stand up for what they believe in. My hat goes off to you. I'm in your corner, man or woman. We need to do that. We need to get off the couch. Get out there, talk to people, talk to our neighbors, talk to whomever, talk to our family members, talk to our coworkers. Get everybody involved. And let's start taking this country back. Get it back to what it used to be. Everything that you see, all the good natured qualities, the generosity, the patriotism, the good physical sense or morals. All of these things that you see in the prepping community that are good, it's not just because we're preppers. That type of mentality and community is how this country used to be as a whole. Everyone was like that. Well, not everybody, but vast majority of America was like this. They helped each other. They did what was right. And that's the way our country got strong. That's the way it was built. And that's what it needs to get back to, or we're going to be in some serious trouble. But anyway, I'm sure I'll probably get some feedback on this, and I welcome it. Leave me some messages or comments or whatever. I look forward to talking to you about this kind of stuff. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I know it was a long video, but take care, everybody. Bless you. Purple Marine 81 out.